Today, you're going to learn everything there is to know about gospel quartet. It's going to sound like this. This lesson will be broken up into two parts. The first part is licks, and we're just going to learn one lick today. We're going to be in the key of A major. You need to know this box shape. And the lick you need to know is this. I'm going to play it nice and slow for you. Once again. And this will all make sense in a second. That lick is going to come in handy once we're playing the chords. All right, so now the next part and the most fun part as a gospel guitar player is learning the chords. We're just going to be playing in the key of A major. So the one chord is an A. You could also play as an A dominant. And I love this little movement. That's the first part of the song. And then we are going to do that lick that we learned in the first part of this lesson. Okay? Then we're going to play a D. It's a D triad to a D sharp diminished. And back to our A dominant chord. Can look a lot of different ways. So let's go over that part just there. And then there is a line that happens that we need to catch, and it's just based out of this pentatonic box shape. And it's leading into the next part of the chords, which is G sharp, minor 11, C sharp dominant to an F sharp dominant. But if you're paying close attention in the beginning of this video, I'm not including the bass notes, and you don't need to either, because in the context of how we're playing this, there is a bass player. So you can literally just play these chords without the root, you know? So instead of playing this, you could play. Okay? It's gonna sound empty without the band, but that's how you should start playing without the roots so that the bass player has liberty. All right, so let's go and play up to there. And then we are going to walk down to a B7 dominant. And then to an E dominant. We could also play as an E7 sharp 9, okay? So that's the first half of this song, okay? So once again, let's play it nice and slow. All right, and the next part, the second half of this song, we're going to be playing an A dominant. Okay? And then we are going to lead to the D7. So we can play this a number of ways, but one way I like to play it is doing that movement and then doing this walk down. So it sounds like this. Okay, so all that, it's like the one chord, A dominant. Then we are doing an E minor 9 to an A7 altered, leading to that D dominant. And then we're doing a D7 diminished. Okay. And then this next lick is going to be from before, just like, right, from that first half. But we're going to play it up the octave just for some variation. And it sounds like this. And it's literally going to be the same chords as down here, but we're just going to play it up here. Notice just a lot of 3-note voicings. So again, this line. Okay. In context, if there was a bass, it would sound like this. Okay, like a G sharp, minor 11, a C sharp dominant to an F sharp minor. Okay, let's go over up to that part. Okay, and then this little motif, okay, we're going to play again. And it's going to sound like this. And then we're going to land on a chord, which is this chord. You can think of it a number of ways, but the proper way to think of it is a B altered. Okay? And then we're going to play an E9 and land back home on the A dominant. And then, you know, to turn the whole thing around, we can play an E dominant again. So let's play that second half nice and slow. Let's play the entire form together, you and me. We'll play it nice and slow so you can follow along. Okay, we're going to play an A dominant, lick, D, D sharp, G sharp, C sharp, F sharp, B dominant, E dominant, A7, E minor, A7, D, D sharp, line, one more time. Couple more pro tips. If you are playing a Stratocaster, make sure you have your pickup set on the middle position so that it's a 5-way switch, so have it set on the third, you know, so if it's closest to you, and you'll go 1, 2 clicks away. If you are playing on a Les Paul, make sure it is set in the middle. So it's not in the rhythm, it's not in the lead, it's just in the middle. If you're playing a Tele, make sure you have a 3-way switch, so make sure it's set in the middle. Same with if you're playing a PRS, make sure your pickup switcher is in the middle, and that should cover just about all the guitars. Now, if you want to make sense of what's going on, the simplest way of explaining it is counting to 7. You're going to count to 7 and use the major scale as the basis of this entire song. So if you know your major scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then everything repeats 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. I know that just sounds like a very simple explanation. The chords seem way crazier than that, but that's really all it is. The bass player is walking around using the numbers in the major scale. So for instance, this song starts off playing the 1, the first note of the major scale, and then it goes to the 4th note of the major scale. This is outside the major scale, but it's walking up to the 5th degree of the major scale. So this is all the bass player is doing in the most simplified terms. Okay, and then the bass player is doing 7th degree, 3rd degree, 6th degree. As a guitar player, you are giving context to what the bass player is doing. So if the bass player is doing this in the major scale, you are playing that chord. And when the bass player does this, you are playing the D chord, or a fancier way of doing it. And then when the bass player is doing this, you are playing that diminished chord, right? And this is the mindset behind how this seemingly complex song is working. So when the bass player is going, it's literally just the 7th degree of the scale, 3rd degree of the scale, and 6th degree of the scale. So as the guitar player, we are free to take liberties and say, oh, we are going to put chords above what the bass player is doing. And the chords we're going to do is G sharp minor 11, C sharp dominant, and F sharp minor. And you're going to notice that this is the trend throughout the entire song. So the bass player is literally just playing parts of those major scales, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And as a guitar player, you are playing chords on top of what they are doing to give the bass context. And as you'll see, and as you learn more about gospel music, and actually this applies to any genre, you're going to see how repetitive these patterns are. For instance, this line cliche happens all the time, but this usually is before this 7, 3, 6. And you're going to learn, oh, there's little patterns and tricks of the trade, just like that happens all the time. That is really deconstructing not just how gospel music works, but how music works in general. You're going to find that that concept is applicable, whether it's rock music, whether it's jazz music, whether it's funk music or country. That concept permeates all of music. Thank you so much for tuning into Soulful Guitar Lessons. If you're interested in learning a bit more about gospel music, I will have a link down below for you to check out. Take care.